Oh, it's yourself, and welcome back to the Black Lodge for another episode of March Dram Madness. This is round 7 of the 8 in this section. We've got an absolute belter coming up. This one you can almost play along with. We'll just jump into it. First up, we have Glen Garioch 12. Get Glen Garioch, if you want to call it that, fine, but it's Glen Garioch 12 versus Benromach single cask for the independent whisky bars of Scotland. But aye, two really strong, really kind of bold Highland malts here. So I'm quite intrigued to see how the Scotland head-to-head goes. Genuinely at this point, I don't know who is going to win. But while we do that, we need to roll the tape. Glen Garioch or Glen Garioch, you know, who's ever going to know that's pronounced Glen Garioch? And Benromach, Benromance, who knows? Now, through a lot of trial and error, we know we're going to start the Glen Garioch 12 because that's a lower proof. That's actually proofed at 48% versus a whopping 57.2%. So this one might be a battle of the proof again, but we don't know until we get in there. Wonderful nose. Weirdly picking up hazelnut, like a Nutella type hazelnut spread. There's a fruitiness to it, an underlying fruitiness, almost like a, you know, like a chocolate lime sweet. Like where you've got that malty, but you can smell the... Some people might say like a chocolate orange. It reminds me of a shot that we used to do in the pub that I worked in. I mean, it wasn't really a shot bar or a cocktails bar, but we could make stuff up with the stuff we had in the gantry. And we had Frangelico, hazelnut liqueur. And what you would do is you would get 2 shots. So you had to buy 2 shots for this, but you would get 2 of them. And you did half vodka, half Frangelico. Then you would get a slice of whatever fruit the bar had, be it a lemon, a lime, sometimes orange if we were being fancy. And you get some brown sugar. You put the brown sugar on the fruit, and then you would shoot and bite, and it'd be like a chocolate, whatever the fruit was. That's what I'm getting immediately off the nose on this. Like just fruity, malty, bit of depth to it, bit of heaviness to it. But the fruit's vibrant as well. It's not a dull fruit. Very malt driven. The malt pushes through that maltiness, which is quite, it's funny, I don't know if maybe I get a little bit blind to it on the palate, but that's lovely. Not Ovaltine, but you know what I mean, like by a maltiness to it. Great mouthfeel, coats the palate, gentle, mid palate, gets a little bit peppery, very gentle, white pepper, very gentle, not heavy, not robust. By robust I mean it's not going to batter you about. Lovely mouthfeel, just sits in the mouth. It's such a sleeper dram, Glen Garioch, and that I think the branding doesn't help. I really don't think that sells what they're selling. And it's one of those cases that when the rebrand comes, which is supposed to be happening in a year or 2, it'll be intriguing to see which way it goes, because it's just wonderful. It's a proper drinker's dram. I've used that phrase a few times. If you're watching this content, the likelihood is you're a drinker and you'll know about Glen Garioch. There's just a lovely sweetness to it as well. Not like overtly sweet. It's just, there's enough there. There's enough in it. The official tasting notes are like poached pear. I'm not quite getting that on my palate, but I'm getting that kind of poached sweet fruit coming through. But that maltiness, one of the only places it still does like flow maltings, like Springbank as well. It's not as malty, so it's not as enclosing on the nose. I'm getting the alcohol proof, you can feel the proof, not in a stingy burny way, like an ethanol type way, but it's quite tight. So the vapours are quite tight in there, which you would expect that, what was it, 57.2%? Still very tight, still tight. It's not giving up its secrets. It feels like it needs water to really be like kicking through. Aye, it definitely needs water. Let's do a water break. Right, a little bit of water added to it. There we go. Instantly, it needed the water to open up, especially to compete against something that's lower in proof. Hard barley candy, you know, like the barley fruit hard candies that you get. I'm thinking like orangey, purpley coloured, those candy, but confectionery hard candies, like not overtly sugary, but you can smell that malted barley that's in there, and it comes to life with that wee bit of water. It needed just a little bit of a kick to kickstart it. On the palate, those sugars are evident. That sweetness is there. A little bit dry, a little bit clawing with the wood on the back, on the sides of the tongue. And when I say clawing, I don't mean like in an irritating way. I just mean like you can feel it grasp and hold on. It's a meaty dram, there's a lot going on in that. I think with the water, definitely opened up a bit. It needs more time in the glass. It absolutely needs more time in the glass. It needs to be kind of savoured and sit. You're not going to be easily drinking through that. I think you would, depending on the occasion and who you're with and stuff. But it's beautiful on the nose once you add that water. I think it was just a little bit tight in the glass. Obviously it's just been poured as well. Back to the Gary. Now it's got a little bit more dusty, a little bit more fusty. Dare I even say touching on a stoury, dusty, savoury, kind of dunnage, old, damp. The malt is not as, I think when you first have it, it was inviting. It's not uninviting, but it's not as dominant. Lovely drinker though, just drinks, unassuming. And by unassuming, I mean it's not challenging you, it's not saying, right, pay attention to me, we're going to get through this. It's just saying, enjoy me. And you can see the viscosity of the liquid as well. There's just a lovely texture. I don't think it's, believe it, yeah, non-chill filtered. That's our core range, that 12-year-old. Done. Just very Moorish, you want it. Back to the Benromach. Even more, the sugars are coming forward, getting a bit more vibrant. It's coming alive, but I don't know if it is alive yet. It's a tough one between the two. Because one, I'm looking at the potential, i.e. I'm looking to see, like, okay, this moves on, can it do it? Two banging drams, two very different occasions, two very different ways. I'm going to go with, for this one, Glen Garioch 12. Got to give it to them. It's just a welcoming dram. It's really enjoyable, Moorish. There's no fuss, there's no need. Like, I'm recording this on a school night. I don't have time to pour and wait and see in like 45 minutes. That's not what we're doing in this series. It's not a pure tasting. So aye, well done. Big upset here. Benromach, single cask, you're deed. It shocked me. It's a cracking dram. Both of them are cracking drams, so it's all's fair in love and war. Right, join me tomorrow for the last of the round of 8. Is that right? The last of the round of 8. The last of the round of 16. 8 videos. Video number 8 of the last 16. It's a belter. See you then.